Pete Seeger replying to Stephanie Lynn, and I'm sorry for the delay. I hope it's not too late to be of help. My desk has been piled high with papers, and I only just dug down and came to your letter and the cassette waiting for me to answer. First, it was not hard for me to get jobs, really, because I went singing at schools and camps that didn't like Joe McCarthy very much anyway. A lot of other people had their lives ruined by people like him. But I really didn't have it hard. My kids never went hungry, and I was fortunate. This is answering number 2. My children were also never discriminated in school. As a matter of fact, the principal of our local school called in the teachers and said she wanted to make sure that no other children in the school made it hard on the Seeger children because of what I was going through. 3, it took a good lawyer and many thousands of dollars, including people all around the world who contributed to help, to finally win an acquittal. The chronology is this. I was questioned by the House Un-American Activities in 1955. Actually, Joe McCarthy was dead by then, but it was his people who thought like he did and kept on for a while trying to continue his work. In 1956, I was formally cited for contempt by Congress. In 1957, I was indicted by the Justice Department. And finally, in 1961, I was tried and sentenced to a year in jail. I only spent 4 hours in jail, though, because my lawyer got me out on bail. And a year later, the appeals court unanimously acquitted me. 4. My answer is, it was a good education. Perhaps that's too short an answer. I wrote a whole chapter in a book called Incomplete Folk Singer, where I quoted from the committee and quoted from my answer and so on. But if you want a short answer, I just say it was a good education. Justice isn't free. I learned that. But nevertheless, I was a lot luckier than I might have been in other times and places. Let me add one thing. This problem of people losing their jobs because they have an unpopular opinion didn't just come and go with McCarthyism. It's an old problem. It's been with the human race for, I'm sure, many thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of years. And my guess it's going to be with us also for many years. It doesn't, it takes a more extreme form when there's a war on, or when there's a crisis that people are in a hurry and they say they just can't take time to argue. They've got to punish the guilty immediately. But in times of peace, then you can relax a little and argue out who's right and who's wrong. This is one reason that I urge people around the world to strive as hard as they can to figure ways to relax tensions, even if they're done in all sorts of silly ways, because if these tensions aren't relaxed, then you can't argue. And by gosh, you won't find out what's right and wrong without a little bit of arguing, because there's no one who's 100% right, and there's probably no one who's 100% wrong either. At least not in my opinion. I don't trust words at all. I know words can mean different things to different people. And then people say, well, what do you trust? I guess I trust actions and deeds, but even these can mean different things. If somebody does something You say, was that a good thing they did or a bad thing? By gosh, before you're through, you find that there was some good and some bad in it. So this is Pete Seeger signing off on Wednesday, May 28th, is it? 1974. Beacon, New York, USA.